Welcome back to Forza Horizon 5. This is the FH5 Update 24, the Italian automotive update. And spoiler alert, this is a banging update. If you are a fan of new cars, this is the update for you. We have 8 cars coming to the festival playlist, another 8 cars coming to the auto show, and another 7 cars being included in a paid Italian DLC car pack. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you all of the cars, how you can get them. But before we jump into that, I wanted to let you know that earlier today, the developers dropped a ton of new information about Forza Motorsport. They spoke all about Forza Motorsport online, from how the safety rating actually works, how lobbies work, and showed off a bunch of new cars and tracks in the game. And there's also some not so great news about Forza Motorsport. Anyways, if you want to check out that video, I've already uploaded it. There's a link in the description down below. If you like competitive racing, go check out that video because the upcoming Forza Motorsport is very, very cool. There are 23 new cars coming in this month's update, and that's great. But Forza Horizon 5 has a garage limit, a total number of cars that you can actually have in your garage, and that limit is 1,000 cars. Or I should say it was 1,000 cars, because when this update drops on Tuesday, the garage limit is being raised to 2,000 cars. That is insane, and that's awesome. It's something people have been asking for a very, very long time. And that's not all. The tune limit and the livery limit is also increasing from 500 liveries and 500 tunes each to 1,000 liveries and 1,000 tunes each. Not gonna lie, still a little bit confusing why you can have double the amount of cars than you can paint jobs or tunes, but anyways, we'll gloss over that. Awesome addition. Cannot wait to add some more cars to my garage. Now, let's talk about those cars. Let's start things off with this. This is the Italian Exotics DLC pack that's gonna be coming out on August 15th. It includes 7 cars for $10. Let's talk about the cars that are included here, starting off with this. This is the 2023 Lamborghini Huracan Tecnica, which is essentially a facelifted version of the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, which is a facelifted version of the Lamborghini Huracan. Long story short, it's essentially the Lamborghini Huracan STO minus all of the crazy bits and bobs on the Huracan STO. It's still got that monstrous 5.2-liter V10. It puts out 630 horsepower and has a top speed of over 200 miles an hour. It's also got this really nice looking front end, really nice looking rear end. I'm actually a big fan of this car. Love to see it included in this DLC. Moving away from the big bad Lamborghini and into this, the brand new 2020 Ferrari 296 GTB. This is Ferrari's first proper V6 engine, and I know what you're saying. This is slow. And how wrong you would be. Now, yes, it does have a V6 engine, but that V6 engine puts out 650 horsepower. And that's awesome. That's really good. But Ferrari wasn't done there, because they decided to strap an electric motor to it that puts out 165 more horsepower, bringing it up to 820 horsepower. Which is insane. The way I try to look at this thing is sort of kind of like a baby Ferrari SF90, but you don't need to be a billionaire to actually own one. Well, you probably need to be a millionaire to own one, because it costs $350,000. And that's the starting price. As soon as you start to get some upgrades and optional extras onto this thing, it's going to be more like 400 and probably 500 and maybe even 600,000. Moving away from the monstrous Ferrari 296 and into something not so great. This is the Ferrari Roma. And for those of you who don't know, this is the replacement of the Ferrari Portofino, which is the replacement for the Ferrari California, which essentially means this thing, it's a little boring. Fun fact, actually, the Ferrari California went down in history as being the most hated Ferrari ever made. It was actually a very close battle between the Ferrari California and the Ferrari F2004, but I imagine those are for very different reasons. I'm sure the Roma is a great car to drive. Like, it's got a V8 twin turbo that puts out over 600 horsepower. It's actually fairly lightweight at 3,200 pounds. Like, I'm sure it's an awesome car to drive, but let's just say I wouldn't buy one. Let's move away from a car I would never own to a car I would love to own, but I would need to either win the lottery or rob multiple banks to be able to afford it. This is the 2020 Lamborghini Asenza SCV12. I do apologize. Oh my god, where do I start with this thing? It is a track-only Lamborghini, and it's the last ever naturally aspirated V12 that Lamborghini's going to make. Now, what's actually funny is this thing actually uses the same engine as the Lamborghini SVJ. It's actually turned, though, a complete 180 degrees, so Lamborghini could place the gearbox at the back of the car instead of in the middle of the car, because this thing is rear wheel drive. Now, I'm not sure if that was the best idea, because it's got 820 horsepower and it's also 300 pounds lighter than the Lamborghini SVJ. And long story short, it's a rocket ship. Only 40 of these things were made for the entire world. All of them have sold out, and they actually all compete against each other in like a Lamborghini Asenza SC V12 competition for billionaires, if you wanted to know. I have good news though, because if you are a billionaire, you might like this next car. This is the 2020 Lamborghini SC20. This is a one-of-one Lamborghini similar to the Lamborghini Aventador J, where they fully just cut the roof off and made it into a convertible. They did the exact same thing with this, and this is the Lamborghini SC20. And fun fact, when this thing was actually built back in 2020, it was the biggest engine that Lamborghini has ever produced for one of their road cars, with a 6.498 cc V12. Actually, saying that, I wonder if any of the tractor engines were bigger than this. Anyways, let's move it over to car number 6. This is the 2019 Ital Design Da Vinci concept, which you're probably getting flashbacks of now, because I spoke about it a year ago when the Hot Wheels DLC was officially announced. The 2019 Ital Design Da Vinci concept. This car was actually included in the Hot Wheels DLC announcement before it was later retracted, I think like a couple of hours after the expansion was officially revealed, and it never came to the game, but it is coming in this DLC car pack. This thing's a really weird car, though. Let me tell you about it. It's kind of a coupe because it's only got 2 doors, but it's also like a sedan because it's got 4 seats with a bunch of legroom, but it's also a supercar because it has gull-wing doors. What's actually funny, though, is that this car was actually originally made for Gran Turismo. Only one of these things exists in the entire world, or I should say, exists, because if you ask Ital Design about the Da Vinci concept, they'll tell you it's an electric car and blah blah blah, this and that and the other. However, in real life, there isn't an electric car. They took it to a bunch of car shows, and the one they took to car shows had a 4-liter V8. I don't think this car exists, but it's pretty cool. I'm always a fan of like weird and quirky cars, and this thing is definitely weird and quirky. I actually can't wait to drive it. And then last but not least, I think this might be my favorite car in the entire DLC. This is the 2018 Lamborghini Super Trofeo Evo. It is a proper race car Lamborghini. If you've ever seen like the GT racing, like Le Mans or like Daytona and things like that, chances are you've seen these Super Trofeos before. You also might have seen it all the way back in Forza Horizon 2 when we actually had like a race car DLC for that game. That was actually the old Super Trofeo. This is the new Super Trofeo, and I absolutely love it. It's a stripped-down, lightweight Lamborghini Huracan, again, designed for the racetrack. I mean, to be fair, what's not to love about a big Lamborghini with a V10 engine built for racing? This thing is awesome. And those are all 7 cars coming to the FH5 Italian Exotics DLC car pack. Are you gonna pick it up? Let me know in the comments. But anyways, that is not all for the new car. There are 8 cars coming to the auto show, and here they are. Yes, Lancia, Abarth, Alfa Romeo, and Fiat are making their return in Forza Horizon 5, and they are coming back with these that you can purchase from the auto show. And that's not all, because these are coming to the festival playlist as well. More Alfa Romeos, more Lancias, More Abarths. I love these things. I'm really interested to see if any of these older Alfa Romeos, Lancias, Fiats, and Abarths, and all of those have any new customization. It's very possible, but we will have to see. I might make a couple of videos on these things throughout the month. Like, I think we need to take a Lancia out to the Rally Adventure expansion because I think it just feels wrong if you don't take a Lancia rally racing. So I think we have to do that at least once during this month. However, again, that is not all because the developers also gave us a sneak peek of what's to come next month in the September update. And they said this: FH5 community requested event lab improvements. That's all they told us. I don't know if that's going to mean like new props, maybe adding new things to the rules, or is it an overhaul of how you actually search for event labs? I think it might be, but I don't want to raise expectations just yet. We will have to see. I'm super excited to learn more. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye. Go check out my Forza Motorsport video. Okay, bye.